Hello, and welcome back to another brand new review for Star Trek Discovery Season 5, Episode 9, Part 1 to the two-part finale. So, what did I think of this episode? I liked it. I liked it more than I have for the past few episodes, I'm going to be honest. In case you don't know, for one, I'm a Discovery apologist. I do love everything from Star Trek Discovery. Season 4 was, towards the end, was a little and so far this season, my biggest complaint has been if you take Maul and Locke out of the equation, we still end up where we are right now, just without the Breen being a part of it. So things definitely would have been different. I also don't like the fact that um, Discovery got all the clues straight away. I would have liked it to have been half and half type of situation. But I'll save all that for next week when I discuss the entire season as a whole. So this episode 9, picking right up where we left off, where we actually get to see Saru. Yeah, Saru is back. He's just back from dealing with some delegation stuff that he had to do, and you know, Starfleet HQ has gotten word of what's going on between Discovery, as well as they know that the Primarch that was the one that got killed off last week has been killed off, and news has been spreading wild, and there has been a different Primarch who has been mentioned previously, is now vying for power, and she's going to go take um, this guy, and his crew, as well as potentially the progenitor tech, assuming that she doesn't know about it. So they then, of course, inform Discovery that Maul and the Breen use a transwarp conduit to get pretty close to where they need to be, and so they don't have as much time to fix things as they thought. So they jump to this place which has two black holes, and they just narrowly escape, and that's when they see what the actual where the progenitor tech is, and it's this cylinder yoke, um, which I'm going to reserve judgment until next week to see what I think of that, because I had it built up in my head that it was going to be this, this it was going to be like this big open room space station type of stuff. But that's just this regenerator tech was put inside this cylinder 800 years ago for when, and it would have been like barely noticeable for anyone who passed by until the right person came about. And then, of course, Maul and the Breen come in, they beam it into their place, and so they Discovery needs to come up with a way to get the progenitor tech off of their ship. And here's where my only issue with this episode is, and it's not necessarily about Discovery. It's in general with this trope, and that is they explain what they're going to do, and when they do that, what in any sort of media, if you have a plan and you see them explain that plan, chances are that plan will not work. And we see that happen in this throughout this episode. The plan that they had, nearly worked, but didn't work. Whereas if they said we have a plan and it cuts to the plan actually being put into motion without it being explained until after the fact, the plan would have been successful. Because that's just a trope that I despise. You talk about a plan does not work. You don't talk about the plan works. You know, that's just a gripe that I have. So they decide that there's going to be an away team of Burnham, Book, Reese, and Adira, uh, going on to sneak on to the dreadnought. Reese and Adira is going to go up to the bridge to hack into the systems to lower the shields, whereas Book and the captain is going to go into the shuttle bay to basically put this yoke on it, to quickly transport it out. Um, so they get on. They're dressed in the Breen garb, which I like that's a nice addition. Obviously, they're going to have to do that in order to sneak on board. Um, and so Reese and Adira go up to the bridge. That's where they are for the vast majority of this episode. Um, then Book and Burnham, they're trying to go to the shuttle bay. Burnham pulls Book aside. They apologize to each other because they saw that relationship as failed, and that they just basically walked away from it, without having to go through the emotional side of things. So that's nice because I do like Book. I do like their relationship. I have liked their relationship since season 3. Though I do still think that Book should have been killed off in season 4 when the DMC destroyed, or the 10C destroyed Book's ship. Um, that's just my personal take on it. Though I am happy that he is here, I still think they should have just kept that and not gone the coward's way out of, oh, he magically survived. Um, so they make it to the shuttle bay, and it turns out that they need proper clearance to go there. Which ends up in a bit of a fight. And they go in, and then they see that they put the progenitor tech in quarantine because, prior to the away team going on to the ship, we see that Maul has opened it, and 2 Breen have gone inside, and that was it. Even one that had a rope tethered to him just immediately disappeared. Um, and so eventually they get found out. Maul goes in because she's again so obsessed with bringing Locke back to life to the point now where I just don't care. I'm sick of it. I am kind of sick of it. It just, like, I get it. I don't need to be reminded of it in every episode of just how much she can't live without him. But one cool thing that she did do, that I do like, is she had a portable pattern buffer. So that was pretty neat. The fact that they can do that, so that way his body is now stored into a pattern buffer, so that way he won't degrade over time. Which is, I like that because it's a callback. It's a callback to when we see Scotty come back in the Next Generation. That's how he survived for 75 years, was in a pattern buffer. Um, and again, like I said, it's not the first time it's been happened. It happened multiple times after that with Scotty. So then eventually, Discovery decides to go and you know rescue them, to blow the progenitor tech, Book and Burnham out into space. Um, and they do that, but that's when not Lol, Maul runs into the progenitor tech, and Burnham follows suit. Um, and then it gets blown out into space, and the container that held it explodes, and the episode ends with Raynar sitting on the captain's chair. So what's all that's been happening? I'm going to backtrack now a second here. Saru offers to go talk to this Tahal uh, person, the Breen woman that's going there. They're going to use the new Pathfinder, or Pathway drive to on a shuttle, so that way it's not seen as a threat. They are also trying to send a bunch of ships that way to assist. The Mitchell gets mentioned, the USS Mitchell gets mentioned, and I think we see the Voyager J. I'm going to assume I'm 100% wrong on that one, but I thought it was the Voyager J. Anyway, yeah, so that's the end of the episode. We don't see what happened to Burnham, Maul, or the 2 Breen inside the progenitor tech area. So that's obviously going to happen next week. I'm optimistic to say that this is going to have a satisfying conclusion, but I also don't think so. And the reason why is because, like we all know, this was never supposed to be the final season, so it's not. I don't think it will be that much of a satisfying conclusion for us. I don't know how long the episode is. I'm going to assume an hour. Um, to try and wrap it up. So yeah, we'll just have one more week of Star Trek Discovery, and then that's it. She's gone. Which, like I said at the beginning of the video, I do love Discovery, and next week I will explain what Discovery meant to me, why I love this show, where, a lot of fans don't like it, where a lot of fans like myself do like it. So that will be out next Thursday. So thank you all for watching. If you want to see that, make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed, because half of the people that watch this, about 50% of the people who watch my Discovery reviews, are not subscribed. So you don't want to miss any other Star Trek content that I do make, because I'm a massive Star Trek fan as well as a Doctor Who fan, and those are the ones that I do as well as movie reviews. So yeah, tomorrow we'll be continuing on with Trilogy Month as we get very close to the end of that. My review for Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, will drop at 3 p.m. GMT plus 1. And then Saturday, of course, will be the Doctor Who review. As well, I'll be joining the Trash Picture Show for a live stream to talk all things Doctor Who. And then Sunday will be my pickups video, and then next week will be the final week for Trilogy Month, as well as the final episode of Star Trek Discovery. So again, if you're not subscribed and you want to see all that content that I just mentioned, do subscribe, and I shall see you all tomorrow for my Revenge of the Sith review.